Morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all you sons of Sam out there. Hope you're all doing well. Today we are sitting down again with Ben Stubbs. It's only a quick one. It's a quick 35 minutes. Ben tried hard to fit us in on a Sunday morning at 7:30 in the morning. So thank you, Ben, for taking a chunk out of your morning. We cover things from where he was born to things kind of up to current day, mainly about Ballistico things through the past, jazz band at Ocean View with Brian Hayner and a couple of the other guys, including Derek. We will be working on another session whenever Ben has time, but he's a very busy guy. If there's any questions that you want me to ask him in the future, don't forget to just drop it in the comments and subscribe. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Anyway, roll the clip. You were born Ben or Benjamin?
Just Ben.
Just Ben. Middle names?
Middle name? Just H.
Just H.
Just H.
Cool. Birth date?
1981.
81. Okay. Month? Month of date?
July.
Cool. So you were born around Orange County, or did you move there, or the kind of Huntington Beach area where you've kind of grown up and stuff?
Oh yeah. Born and raised in Orange County.
Cool. So when do you think your first interest in music was? Like, from what age do you recall kind of going, that's what I want?
About age 6, I got my first guitar. And before that was a Smurfs guitar, so I had one before that. And I was always interested in rock music as a little kid, like Elvis, Richie Valens, a lot of that kind of like the oldies, I guess you would consider back then, just because that's what you would hear on the radio at the time. And then later on, listening to metal, listening to Metallica, listening to Pantera, listening to a lot of different stuff. And then going into the more eclectic stuff in high school, Mr. Bungle was my favorite band, probably one of my most favorite bands of all times. And they were a big deal for me musically. Mr. Bungle. Then of course all the side projects of some of the members, Secret Chiefs 3, Tracy Jones's band, a big fan of theirs. I would listen to a Stratosphere. I would go see a Stratosphere. They were a band from Santa Cruz, and they would come down from there to Los Angeles like every month, it seemed like. And I would go see them at the Knitting Factory in LA. So I was big into them. Tons of stuff. And then from the age of 9, concurrently, I would listen to classical music, like classical guitar music. That's when I started studying. When I was about 9, studying the Spanish composers. And I took lessons from the age of 9 till I'm always studying, but consistently taking lessons from different players until my early 20s, early mid 20s. And then got turned on to flamenco like in my around 19, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's always been a big influence on me, is the Spanish influence, Spanish guitar, flamenco music, flamenco guitar.
Cool. So were your mom and dad like really into music, or were either of those musicians?
And my family's been pretty musical. Like on my dad's side, there was a lot of piano playing was really a big thing. And then on my mom's, and choral music. And then on my mom's side, there was, I got turned on to music like Martin Denny from my grandpa's old LPs, like the kind of LPs that you would find in people's houses of that generation.
My granddad and stuff were big on like Frankie Lane, stuff like that. So yeah, pretty much it was always guitar then, from a young age. It's funny that you mentioned the Smurfs guitar as well, because Derek mentioned that his first drum kit when he was like 2 years old was a Smurf drum kit. So the Smurfs were pretty popular back then. So the next question was, did you learn flamenco at an early age? But that was around 19 then. So what inspired you now to kind of start the Flamenco4U and start teaching the flamenco to the
Mhm.
world and stuff. Was that just your favorite style that you want to put back out there, or?
That's just the style that that most are familiar with more than anything else is one that I've put so much time in for over the years. And when I started teaching, that was the first thing I decided to teach because it's something I know the most about as far as any other styles that I might play.
Yeah,
Like
it
I
is a
could.
very beautiful style. Like, I've never been able to do it myself, so I'm hoping that once I've
Mhm.
got a free time, I can just binge your entire channel, and hopefully one day I'll get the I'll get the motion.
Yeah. I want to expose people to what the real flamenco is. There's misconceptions about it, and there's misconceptions about the actual technique,
Yeah,
and even what a flamenco guitar is, and who are the artists. Um, so I use this as a vehicle, kind of as an educational tool to get it out there, what it is and what it isn't, and
yeah,
how beautiful it is, and how it's a it's a patrimony of the Andalusian people, of the gypsies, and how that's
mm.
an admirable thing that they've brought this gift to the world,
Yeah.
flamenco music.
It's beautiful. It really is.
Happy Sunday.
Um, have you had an increase in subscribers at all recently?
I think I've seen seen a bump, but there's been a lot of people that were really grateful to see the video.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people still sending their thanks on a daily basis.
Oh yeah, it's
Um,
really big for a lot of people who've been waiting for a long time and only been imagining what it could possibly have sounded like, and here it is.
can you ask them why they did not play McFly? Like, you've got this footage for the first time in 20 years, and you're going to complain that they didn't play one of 6 songs. You got a new song that you've never heard before, and you're going to complain that you didn't hear that one. I
Oh, because we
just
only had 10 minutes.
so so I mean, it's like, it's, yeah, it's like, just honestly, like, the amount of people that have complained that they've not that you didn't play McFly is just unbelievable. Like, you've got a
McFly's
new
the
song
best
you've
one.
never heard before, and footage that you were never ever going to see, and you're going to complain about it. I just can't comprehend I just can't get my brain around it. It's just unbelievable.
I don't know actually if we were gonna play that night or if it was just something that we didn't get to because we did a duplicate at the very end.
Yeah, but well, that's it. A lot of people have actually gone that, like, that version of Necromancer at the end was like, because it sounds a bit different, and
Mhm,
everybody's really happy about that. I'm like, oh, you get this kind of this proper, like, outro of something that, it's the first song on the album, and then they're playing it to end the show with. So a lot of
mhm,
people are happy about that, but then other people are kicking off that there was no McFly. It's like, I understand where you're coming from. It was my favorite song off the EP. It always has been, but, like, I'm not crying over it. Like, oh my god, why didn't you play it? I'm ecstatic that we've actually got something. Um,
mhm.
but yeah,
Look at
blowing
all
my
that
mind.
paraphernalia over there.
What was that?
Look at all that paraphernalia over there.
I know. So these are photocopies of these. I'm not putting tape on those originals that you sent me. um, this I got off a guy that used to work at he used to work at Liquid then, and he had, like, a stack of old handbills and posters
Wow.
and stuff. And he sent me, like, a huge stack. There's, like, HB surround sound, and there's loads of stuff. Um, and then obviously the kind of CDs and DVDs that we're kind of putting out at the moment. This
Mhm.
is one of the fake ones that was made years ago, and I know 5 of these were sold, and they all sold for about $400 a piece. So whoever made them definitely cashed in on that. Um, so you've kind of covered your musical kind of inspiration from, early age to kind of high school and stuff like that. Um, but Derek seemed to mention that you were both kind of in the jazz band together at Ocean View.
Yeah, we were in the jazz
Um,
band.
yeah, so was that, like, your first, like, real band overall kind of thing, or were you kind of dabbling in other stuff before that?
I think that was the beginning of our, at least my experience with doing bands is jazz band because I was originally going to be on the art track. So I was before going into high school, I had applied for a school of art,
Mm.
and I didn't get in. And then the last minute somebody dropped, and I was next in line, so I did get in. But by then it was too late. I'd already decided I wanted to go to join this jazz band over
Okay.
at Ocean View. So then I joined, and I was going to play jazz guitar. But then there was another guitarist in the band who was much more talented than I, and had developed his talent much more. And that was Brian Hayner. He was the guitar player in the jazz band.
God damn you, Brian.
Uh, Damn you, Brian! Very,
So
a
what?
very, very, very much developed talent. It was like freakish.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and so then I just I kept my eye on his style of playing, and then I kept my eye on Jimmy, and
So was Jimmy in the jazz band as well,
I don't
or?
know if Jimmy was ever a jazz band. He might have been for a little bit. I
Yeah,
think he
because
might have been, but I
Derek
don't know
said
for sure.
he'd only ever really had one interaction with Jimmy, and when he'd
Mhm,
walked into the jazz room once, that's
mhm,
when he saw what he looked like. And his
mhm.
first interaction was Jimmy trying to terrorize him. But yeah, because he one thing Derek did mention was Derek like had a guitar like in a music room locker.
Mhm.
And he said, I knew there was somebody taking my guitar, and I found out it was Ben. And I was like, man, fuck that guy. And he went and told the teachers, apparently.
Mhm.
Like, did you ever get any backlash after that? Or did this just.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty rude of me to be taking somebody's instrument out, but I don't know. I don't know if I thought it was all the instruments in the band room were communal basically, but some
Yeah,
of them were actually people's own instruments. Like so there's a
yeah,
band closet, and so you you would have like trumpets, you'd have drums and stuff, but
yeah,
then we might store our own instruments in there
yeah,
too, or in our own locker. But me not knowing any better, I might have just taken it out of his locker or wherever it was and
yeah.
thinking it was a communal
Yeah, because
instrument.
he said after he kind of found out, he like snitched on you to a teacher, but then he kind of like found like started to kind of speak to you, and he was like, actually, this guy like you can use it anytime. Like he was, he's kind of like this guy's pretty cool. He's weird like me. He's got this kind of different mind, and
All us bandos were definitely weird. It was a subculture. But the good thing is that by doing that, I could identify everybody who did music at all
yeah,
in the school. So you were outed basically as a musician if you're in jazz band. And
mm,
if you weren't, then you were doing some other extracurricular sport.
yeah,
And so in jazz band, I got to know like Vince Walker, who plays for Suburban Legends, Brian Clem, also from Suburban Legends, and Jimmy played for them for a little bit too. And I even played
yeah.
drums for them
Well,
one
that
time.
was a question coming up, yeah, because Derek mentioned that you played like one show with them at least,
One show,
where you
yeah.
just maybe filled in. But was that kind of was it just one show, or were you just kind of a?
Oh yeah, it was just one show. Yeah,
So was that
just one.
before or after Jimmy's time with them? Because I know Jimmy was with them for a few months, and
Mhm,
apparently after speaking to Tim, he said that
mhm,
on the Origin edition, he said you can only really hear Jimmy on the kind of interlude songs that they did.
mhm.
Apparently you recorded a couple of those, but all
Yeah, I
the
didn't.
actual drumming is it Fred? Is it was his name Fred, the drummer at the time?
Don't know.
Mm. But yeah, so you were pretty close with all the like Suburban Legends guys and stuff like that then.
Yeah, over the years, in band, what freshman, sophomore year. I don't know if I did band in junior year too, but yeah, we all knew each other. And so yeah, like I was saying, I kept track of Jimmy and Brian because and Vince and Derek and Brian because I identified them as
Yeah,
musicians who were excelling. And then later on, when I got word that Pinkley Smooth was a thing, and I heard the recording and found out that it was Jimmy and Brian masterminding this whole kind of thing, it just really blew my mind. I mean, I knew
yeah,
all the projects everybody was involved in. I heard about what they were doing, and then I could finally hear it. That
yeah,
was an awesome thing.
yeah. Because Derek said that he first auditioned for Pinkley on sax after Brian invited him from the jazz room. He was like, "Oh, come and audition." And he auditioned on sax in like '96,
Mhm,
which has completely blown a few minds, knowing that Pinkley Smooth predates Avenged Sevenfold by so much.
mhm. How about that?
So what obviously you weren't playing the guitar in the jazz band, so what were you playing at the time?
I played the P bass, the the bass guitar, electric bass.
Okay. Well, yeah. The next question was Pinkley the first time you played bass, but no, you were playing it in jazz band.
Yeah, that was the first time I played it was in jazz band. First time I picked up an electric bass. Night in Tunisia.
Yeah, I mean, we over in the UK we don't really have like school bands and stuff like that. So if you want that kind of, musical, like, you really have to kind of go out your way to find teachers or stuff like that. We just don't have, we don't have this kind of sports team stuff you guys have over there. It's a totally different level, high
Mhm.
school wise.
Oh, okay.
Um, so yeah, because Derek did mention that you were kind of fairly adept at drumming at the time. He was a lot better than I was, like, which is how you ended up kind of drumming for Suburban Legends for a show.
That was a weird
Um,
thing. Like we were all kind of like Taylor at the time. We were both artists. No, in was it high school? Yeah, was it high school? Yeah, we were both like artists. Type the same. We were in the same art class, and then it just over time you see people excelling over time. Who persists with a particular trade? So some of us ended up being guitar players. Some of us ended up being drummers when we thought we were going to be saxophone players, and some of us ended up being artists when
yeah.
we thought we were going to be a percussionist. So.
So you knew like Taylor and stuff then, like
Mhm.
way before high school and stuff.
Only during high school. That's when Taylor and I began to know each other.
And did you just kind of meet from the art side of things? Because I know Derek said he met Taylor through Jimmy.
I think I met Taylor in our class. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, because you did mention last time we spoke that you went to like the same art class and stuff, and he just went,
Yeah.
yeah, which you can see in his work because he's just unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
So where did the idea for Ballistico come from then? Like, what made you think like surf and like heavy rock, like metal, just kind of
Mm.
what combined those two? Because I don't think there's really been anything like it before, really, has there, to that extent?
I haven't seen much of anything like that before. It wasn't a preconceived kind of a thing. It was just something that we did. We played surf music. Derek's dad was the bass guitarist for
Yeah,
Dick
Dick
Dale and the
Dale.
Deltones for many years, and that's the kind of music that we heard coming out of the garage. That's the kind of music that we would hear going and listening to them play and doing little mini roadie jobs for Dick
Yeah.
here and there. Um, and then of course metal was shared between Derek and I, an affinity for that, and so that's the kind of music that we'd write. He'd
Mm.
write a lot of stuff, and I'd write stuff, and I'd arrange some stuff. He'd arrange some stuff. It was definitely a collab, and so we started out as a being named Captain Crime Scene. That was the first name, Captain Crime Scene.
Really?
Yeah, and then it changed at some point. It changed at some point, and then it turned into Ballistico.
So I think if I remember right, Derek said your first Ballistico show was at like a school talent show or something like that, or a competition or something. And Derek found out what the groupie effect was when he comes off stage and girls come up to him for the first time and go, "Hey, you're cool."
Yeah, he came a long way from the Luke Skywalker tail he used to have as a kid. Being
Oh,
the Ballistico drummer.
oh! Please tell me you have pictures of this.
You're gonna have to ask him. You have to go Derek directly on that one. He rocked it though. He made it. It made sense when he had it.
Yeah.
I didn't know him when he had the Luke Skywalker tail.
So yeah, what was the do you remember the first song that you wrote for Ballistico?
Oh, good question. Mm, I don't remember the first one, but I know that going down was like one of the earlier ones that
Hmm.
Derek wrote. Derek wrote a lot of Ballistico songs. That was one that just sticks out in my mind.
Wait, and was Ballistico one of those that kind of you decided I'm gonna play guitar, I'm gonna sing, or was it kind of you just didn't find a like did you want a different vocalist or was it just always gonna be you?
Yeah, it was just always going to be me because that's the way I perceived bands at the time. It's like you play guitar and you sing, and
Mm.
then if you had like a front man, then cool. But like I wasn't seeing anybody, or I hadn't envisioned anybody that I had in mind to do front work and singing like that. So
Yeah,
I thought
yeah. I
that
was just kind of
was
referring back to when you mentioned about like Pinkley Smooth, and it was like Jimmy was always going to do percussion, but it was like you need to sing. Like
Mhm,
you can't do drums and sing, so you need to sing and you need to find a drummer, kind of
mhm,
thing. So I was wondering if you had that same kind of situation.
mhm.
So was Ballistico always just you, Derek, and Mike Conley?
No, Ballistico had some incarnation. So the first one was Derek and I, and then on bass was Vince Walker, I think. Vince played bass. No, 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 no. Vince Walker and I switched off on bass and guitar. So some songs I'd play bass, I think, and then some songs I'd play guitar, and we'd switch back and forth. He had a nice Fender jumbo fret guitar. It was pretty nice. But anyhow, we would switch back and forth. So it was the three of us. That was Captain Crime Scene. Then after that, um, Vince was very busy with Suburban Legends. Then we had Mike join the band, Mike Conley, rest in peace.
Hmm.
He was with us. And then we had some additions later on. We had, as Captain Crime Scene, John Cubis. He's the son of a professor at Golden West College who was a fantastic saxophone player. John, I think he's also John Cubis, his dad's name. Anyhow, he was with us, and he believed that the fire of Captain Crime Scene, or as he referred to as CC, was gone, so he left the band. And then after that, we got who came, he was playing keyboards, by the way. Um, I'm holding back my laughs because I've got this funny CD of his with this rap song. It's pretty funny. Excuse me.
We're gonna have to
Got it
put
in my
that
throat.
out
Yeah. So then after that, sorry, this is boring.
No, it's
Then
cool. It's cool.
got him, and then afterwards we had was it Ryan? I think Ryan. He played clarinet. He played keys, and then after he wasn't able to do it, then we had another player. Was his name Jason? I don't remember. You had to ask Derek. He'll remember.
Hmm.
Excuse me. He was in the video with us at Coos Cafe with the captain's hat on.
Oh, okay.
Dun, 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 dun. And then later on, as Ballistico, when Mike passed, Mike Lewis joined us on bass, and that was the final incarnation. Is Derek and I and Mike Lewis.
So, what year was the birth of Ballistico?
Yeah, Derek and I. I think
What
Derek came up with the name Ballistico, or maybe it was Mike. I can't remember.
and what year did you kind of, or what year did Captain Crime Scene come together? Was that about 96, 97?
Maybe like 97, 98. I remember in 98 we were doing recording with John Cubis. So some around 97, 98.
Yeah. And but what kind of what brought the end to Ballistico? Like, was it just everyone was too busy with other things, or
Yeah.
no? That sucks. Do you think you'd ever try and reform?
Oh, I definitely wouldn't be opposed to it. Yeah.
Oh, we need to get that petition going. um, so yeah, we've kind of gone through that. Was there any particular like favorite show or venue to play while you were with kind of Ballistico? I know one of Derek's favorite venues he said was Coos Cafe.
Coos
Because he said it
Cafe,
was just
yeah.
like this person's house, and you just had people like 360 just kind of around you, listening out in the garden, and
Yeah, I loved it because it was like everybody in the crowd could be in the band basically. I
yeah,
mean, you didn't have instruments, but it felt like they were in the band with us, playing with us, because it was just like shoulder to shoulder. And it's even a more valuable memory now that we're in the situation that we're in, where there's
yeah.
competitions and bubbles between everybody. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I suppose saying that, that's kind of that you just mentioned there, the kind of shoulder to shoulder, having the audience part of the band was like the whole birth of We Will Rock You. Like they wanted something that the audience could sing, and it was the
That works, yeah.
so
My other another place I liked was um the Galaxy we played with Dick Dale. We opened up for him. That was pretty cool. A big milestone for me was opening up for Frank Zappa's band,
yeah,
the Grandmothers of Invention. That
yeah,
was
I was getting down to that.
yeah, that was a big deal for me. I was
Big Zappa
a
fan then.
big Zappa fan. That
Yeah,
was the
because
very first CD I bought was a Zappa CD. Was the Grand Wazoo I bought after school
cool.
one day.
Yeah, because as we kind of moved down, it was that was something that Derek mentioned. He basically said like you were playing this house party one night. Can't remember who said it was. I think he said Valerie and Phil something.
Mm-hmm.
And you were playing this like house party out in the garden and stuff, and then Jimmy walked in with Micah Montague, and like Derek goes over and reintroduces himself, and Jimmy's like, "Oh shit, you know, you've got really good." But he kind of says, "You know, we're playing this show tomorrow, and we're opening up for the Grandmothers of Invention. You know, do you want to come along?" And apparently, that's kind of the show where, like, at least Derek, I don't know about yourself, kind of got the invitation to come and either audition or join Pinkley.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So
cool.
you remember that Grandmother's show quite well then?
Yeah, there's I have a little clip of it on my my YouTube page, an early one where there was a Viking storming the stage and a clown or something like that. But I remember playing. I think if that's the same house party I remember, there was a knife fight that night when we were playing during our set.
Really?
Yeah.
That just sounds amazing. It sounds like a good night.
It was a good night.
So yeah, did you kind of have an audition process for Pinkley, or because Derek basically auditioned twice? He auditioned once on sax and then auditioned again on drums.
Probably Jimmy and Brian wanted to see him on stage and see how he did during a live situation and pass the test. Maybe that was the case. And as far as bass goes, my memory was that I was asked to come over to Brian's house, and then he had, I don't know if he had the stuff tabbed out, but he would show me, this is the area of the neck I want you to kind of focus on. This is the approach I want you to have. Here's try this out, see what you think about this. And I tried it out, and pretty much everything he was showing me was right on. And so that I don't know if I ever did an audition or if I was asked, but I know that most of the work that we did was between Brian and I for the bass stuff.
Cool. So what year was the Grandmothers of Invention show and stuff like that? Do you remember what year that was?
I'd have to look back. Maybe it was in the 2000 or 2001 or something like that. There's probably a timestamp on the video if it's accurate.
Yeah, it's just trying to pinpoint like the Pinkley timeline for everybody. So at this point, we know now that by the time you're joining, it's Avenged Sevenfold's already a thing. And so Pinkley's already been an idea for about 5 years at this point. So yeah, we kind of move on. So you've answered the next question by basically, it wasn't the first time you'd met Jimmy kind of joining Pinkley Smooth, was it? You'd known him for quite some time.
Just in high school here and there, and having some run-ins here and there. I remember he was in the science class, and the guy, I don't know if we were switching science classes, like if I had the same room before, the same science class room, and we would change periods and we would brush against each other's shoulders maybe during that time. I don't remember. Remember he would go on bathroom breaks outside the door of the science lab. And he got in trouble for that.
I imagine so.
The bathrooms were actually kind of a little bit far away from that. No, not too far away from the science lab. But
So
like a week ago.
so yeah, did you start kind of gigging with Pinkley before anything was recorded then, or?
I think we recorded everything before we started gigging.
Cool. And you recorded, obviously, you recorded the stuff at Derek's house.
Yeah, they had half of the stuff they already had recorded, and that's what I heard. This one jumped aboard for sure, and then we recorded the rest of it at Derek's house.
Yeah, and I believe Robert Hurd, who was living at Derek's house at the time, who he says hi. Apparently he put a end to a Pinkley recording session at one point. Do you recall that?
No.
He said he came home from work and apparently you're doing like a late night recording session. It was like 9 o'clock at night. You were starting to record. He said Jimmy's drums were on the opposite wall of where his head was. So he just starts playing these waterfall sounds through these subwoofers. And it was like, okay, I think recording's off for the night.
The waterfall sound effect.
Yeah, I said that to him. I said, maybe they could have added that to the album, but he said no, it was just way too loud. It was just swallowing the drums up.
I remember he would have the sound effect of the waterfall, and it sounded majestic. It was like had some nice speakers, and there was like rumbling. I felt like I was at Yosemite again.
So the first show with Pinkley was at a guy named Brian's house. Apparently, he used to be called Pillbug.
Pillbug, yeah.
Yeah.
1-800. He had his own number, 1-800 Pillbug.
Really?
If he needed some pills, 1-800 Pillbug.
That's insane. That's amazing. So yeah, apparently at that time, Pinkley was a 5-man outfit with Justin. Apparently, that was the only show you played with him, and he turned up like super late, something.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember if we played if Pinkley played if I played with Pinkley that night or not. I think Ballistico played that night, but I don't even remember. I think, but eventually,
I think Derek said that he played, but like Jimmy was just like calling Justin, and Justin just like showed up like super late and stuff because he was asleep or something, and he showed up like super late, and then after that it was like, sorry, dude. So with the way the CDs were produced, initially I think Mike Scrub, and he did all the printing for the original blue and red CD, and then all the CDs and stuff were burnt like at Jimmy's house or wherever. But when production comes into the red copies, like how did that happen? Because they were sold through like CD Baby and stuff like that. Is that right? Or like, did you print them at home, or did somebody else print them?
No, I just printed them at home and just used CD Baby to distribute them. Because at the time, you could do that. You can't do that anymore. Like you can't hand make your own stuff because like all the other outlets like Amazon, they won't take it. Because we have oils and stuff on our hands. So when we touch things and they go through the mail, other people might touch them. Might get touched by your oils. So anyhow, yeah, I would just print those out and then send them over there, and they would just take care of all the logistics. I certainly wasn't apt to be able to fulfill any orders like that.
Okay, so it was a home print job, and then you just shipped it to them, and then they did all distribution. Okay, do you know roughly how many you printed?
No, I don't know. I would just do some batches here and there whenever they would send me an email saying that we need some more. So I just
but I know that there was 200 of the original one printed. So all in all, there's probably only, I don't know, maybe 400 authentic CDs out there. So keeps it limited. That's why there's such high demand for them.
Yeah, I know that I found like a stack years ago of those ones, which leads me to believe that maybe I might have had them ready, like by the time we were playing our shows. I don't remember if I was able to hand those out at the time, but I think most of the shows we still had the crystal case versions of them.
So do you know what happened to that stack that you found?
I just probably just got given away over time. People say, "Do you still have one?" And so I just give them give them
Yeah.
away until then I started seeing like there maybe was like 3 left or 2 left. I'm like, maybe should I should retain a couple or something just for myself.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing I did hear was when you were playing Pinkley shows and stuff that you used to use like Mike's bass rig. Is that right, or did you
Mm,
have your own?
well, Mike would use my rig. That was my rig. I had this used Ampeg um,
Okay.
half stack, and then the like two 15-inch um, woofers,
And
and it was kind of a beast of a thing to lug around. But we would share it. That was mine, but if Mike would use it, I would use it. Mhm.
oh, fair. Do you know what bass it was?
The bass I was using for most of the shows, actually, I would use his bass a lot of times. I didn't even own a bass guitar, so I would use his Carlo Robelli bass.
Mm.
Mhm.
And was that the bass that was on the recordings for Necromance and Body of Death?
Probably.
Cool. Well, if anybody wants the sound, it's out there.
Mhm.
Can anybody expect any lessons from you for Pinkley Smooth songs?
It could happen. It could happen. And I'm just really backed up with a lot of requests still fulfilling right now for the
Yeah, for
tutorials and just
sure.
really busy with that. But it's no, I'm just not out of the question.
Well, I think yeah, if there's high enough demand for it and people are, because
The
I
thing is,
definitely know a lot of people are asking.
I have to learn how to play it. I don't remember how to play it anymore.
You'll
I'm
pick it
sure
up
that
in no.
people can teach me how to reteach me how to play it.
um, did you um, did you ever have any like kind of handwritten notes or anything like that, or was everything just kind of locked away up there?
I had some tabs written down, yeah, for sure, but just like shorthand stuff.
Hmm.
Didn't have the whole arrangement set out or anything like that.
Any
Any
chance you still have any of those?
I don't think I have any. If I do, um, I'll gladly scan them and make them available, but I don't think I have any.
Hmm. Cool. Well, I think you're coming for time's up now. It's about 5 past now, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Um,
been fun. We'll have to do a part two.
if you have any availability in the next kind of, just whenever, if you just let me know when you're available and we'll try and set something up.
Will do.
Um, and hopefully I'll have a working printer so I won't have all these technical issues seconds before we're supposed to sit down. But yeah, I appreciate you sitting down with us today. I mean, you've got an entire day ahead of you now. So yeah, I appreciate it. I'm sure we'll figure something out. But I think other than that, there's no burning questions at the moment. I can't wait till next time.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Thank you so much, Sam.
No worries, man. Thank you for taking the time out, especially so early in your day.
Have a good rest of the evening.
And
I'll
you,
talk to
man. Thank
you
you
soon.
very much. See you later.
All right, see ya.
Bye bye.
Take care.
Hope you enjoyed this sit down as much as I did recording it. We will work on something when we can fit it into both of our schedules. There are other things currently in the mix, so hopefully I'll get those out to you soon. If you're not already subscribed, then subscribe. If you think your friends might like these videos, then send them their way. Also, do not forget to check Ben's channel out. If you're not already over there watching his videos, listening, learning from him, he is a master. So get over there, subscribe, get over to Patreon, support the guy. He's a master of his craft. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Peace.